What's good, guys? Um, so today I'm making a video about something that is very important to me, something that like resonates with me a lot, okay? And that is anxiety, okay? Anxiety. This is something that I have struggled with for years, quite honestly. Um, and I want to help people because I have improved upon it myself. You know what I mean? I've gotten a lot better at it. There we go. I've gotten a lot better at it. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out how to use this Miro board stuff. Um, and I've learned lots of techniques and stuff over the years on how to overcome it, how to make it better, how to, get out of your own head, sort of stuff. And that's one of the things that some people say to me that they struggle with a lot is anxiety. And like, I'm here to help. Okay. I already said that. I'm not very good at talking sometimes. But, anyways, today we got a whole presentation just on anxiety. So, starting out here, okay, the root causes of your anxiety, okay? There's so many different things that are giving you anxiety, that are making you anxious, and we're just going to go one by one in order, all right, and hit every single one that I've experienced and that I see in other people, okay? And if you can hear leaf blowers or something in the background, I'm sorry. We're doing landscaping. Hopefully not, because I have my microphone on, but you never know. So, number one, the root causes of anxiety. I did not mean to draw that line. Okay. Misalignment. Okay. Typically, the whole reason that you start being anxious, you start developing anxiety, all right, is because there's a gap between who you are and who you should be, or who you want to be, right? And that in turn creates inaction, because you're sitting there constantly overthinking, constantly in your head, why am I anxious? What can I do to fix it? You're just sitting there thinking and spinning your wheels and thinking and spinning your wheels. And God, this leaf blower is fucking with my train of thought. Sitting still with these problems creates a negative response, a threat response, right? It puts your body into fight or flight mode. You know what I mean? And one of the biggest reasons for this in our society today is this right here. This overconsumption, okay? Constantly scrolling on your phone, constantly reading the news, watching the news, constantly comparing yourself to others, comparing your life to other people's lives, thinking that everybody on social media has it all figured out. You're getting this constant input of what your life should look like, right? This person has this. This person is making six figures. This person has a loving wife or a loving girlfriend. This person's life looks perfect. But it's not, okay? Nobody's perfect, all right? And when you're just sitting there constantly scrolling on your phone, going through social media, you're seeing, it's an algorithm, right? It's showing you what you want to see, and it's showing you what you look at the most, okay? So if you're sitting there comparing your life to other people who are in better shape than you, or have what you want, and this, that, and the other, it's going to cause you to think that you're behind. Okay, and I'm guilty of this. I am plenty guilty of this. Everybody is. But the first step in doing something about it and changing it is just to simply recognize it. Right? So, Comparison, right? Like I was just saying, you're comparing yourself to others. You're seeing their highlight reels, like it says right here. People on Instagram are showing the best parts of their days. Okay. They're showing you what you want to see. They're not showing you the behind the scenes, the struggles. They're not showing you maybe, I don't know, just all the negative stuff behind it. Okay. It really depends on what sort of stuff you're looking at. But, with my Instagram, at least, I try to be pretty transparent with you guys. I struggle with my business. This shit's hard, right? I've struggled with mental health. I've struggled with anxiety. I still do. Nobody's perfect, right? But you gotta think about that, right? Next is waiting for perfect. Waiting for a perfect moment, waiting for the perfect weather, right? It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. There's never going to be a perfect time to start going to the gym, to start prioritizing your health, to start living the life that you want to live, quite honestly, right? There's never going to be a perfect time to start your business. There's never going to be a perfect time to quit your job and find a new one. There's never going to be a perfect time to move to a place or to move out of somewhere that you don't like. Because you're just going to look for the right time. You're going to look for the right idea, and you're not going to start. And that, in turn, like I said, it's going to cause you to just sit there and spin your wheels, all right, instead of just starting. One of the, by far, the most helpful thing that I ever learned when I used to go to therapy was called being, where can I write this where you guys will see it? It's called being directionally correct. Okay? My handwriting sucks. Deal with it, all right? But being directionally correct, taking one small step that will bring you in the correct direction of where you think you want to go. Okay, instead of trying to do something perfect every single time. I'm a perfectionist, and that's one of the reasons why I struggle with anxiety, because I wanted to do things perfect every single time the first time. But once I learned how to be directionally correct and start taking steps to get to where I want to go, I started taking action, and action eliminates anxiety, right? For example, my end goal eventually, I want to be a firefighter, right? And I've been thinking about that for years. My dad was a firefighter. I've done ride-alongs, and I have a lot of friends that are firefighters, and I think that's what I want to do. So instead of just sitting there and constantly thinking about it, I went to EMT school, right? That's the first step. I passed EMT school. I'm going to take my national EMT exam soon. That's my first step. And the further I get down that line and something else happens and I never end up being a firefighter, at least I started taking the right steps. Maybe something's going to stray you off of the path that you think you're going on. But, if you never started in the first place, you never would have gone down the other path. Right? So I made a video on this one a while ago. I can't remember what it's titled, but living in a fantasy, the fantasy trap or something like that is what it's titled. Go watch it if you struggle with this. But living in a fantasy world, that's what so many people do nowadays, and it's because of social media, right? People are waiting. Once I have this job, once I have this girlfriend, once I look like this, blah, blah, blah. Once I do this, I'm going to be happy. Once this happens, I'll have this. You're living in a fantasy. Okay. Everything feels so much better in your head. When I was thinking about starting a business and posting on social media, it was so much better in my head, right? Because it's like, oh, I just have to do this and then I'll get this. Absolutely not. I'm doing all of this stuff and it's really fucking hard, and it's way harder than I thought it was going to be. Once I get in shape and look how I want to look, my life is going to be so much better and so much easier. But you don't think about how hard it is to get in shape, right? It's not easy. Nothing is easy. And if all of this shit were easy, everybody would do it, right? That's why everybody is fucking fat. That's why everybody is fucking lazy. That's why everybody is fucking broke, okay? Because they're living in this fantasy, and once reality hits, they give up because it's hard. And living in a fantasy like this, right, it causes you to not be present anymore. You're living in the future, you're living in the past, and you're not present. You're never living in the now. I struggle with this a lot, especially when I, 2024, that was a really rough year. for me, a lot of bad shit happened. You know, I'm not going to go into details. There's my like first couple YouTube videos. You can actually talk. You can watch them and I talk about it. Um, but you know, I wasn't present because I was so hung up in how bad things were right now that I never enjoyed the present. I was always like, ah, fuck, I need to do this so that my future will be better. You know, why did I fuck up so bad in the past? Like I was stuck in the past and then I was stuck in the future. And you have to be present. Okay, it helps eliminate so much anxiety because you're constantly overthinking what you did wrong, or you're constantly overthinking what you're not doing right now that is not going to allow you to be where you want to go. Right now is all you got right now. Okay, one major thing that really helped me with this was meditation. Okay, there's an app called Waking Up. It's by far my favorite meditation app that I've ever used. I've used quite a few. I like it a lot. So maybe, you know, if that's something you're thinking, you can try that out. Like it works for me. I do it almost every day now. And it's just one of those habits that I've developed that move the needle, right? 1% better. And then this one, gosh, I see this one in so many people. Uh-oh. Okay, I was just behind. I see this one in so many people. Staying comfortable. Comfort creates a wider gap. Okay? Comfort is the lie that they sell you to keep you stuck. I heard that quote and I never forgot it because it's very true. I see so many guys my age that are just comfortable and that's why they're anxious. Okay? They have an okay job that pays them okay money and they have, you know, an okay girlfriend and their life is just okay. You know, oh, you know, it's good enough, right? I'm living just a good enough life. Well, 10, 20, 30 years from now, you're going to look back at your life and you're going to be like, fuck, I didn't do anything. I just went to work, went to the gym 3 days a week, got drunk with my buddies every single weekend, never had any cool experiences. I never really started that business that I wanted to start. I never really took any risks. And you know what? If that's how you want to live your life, more power to you. But you know, you gotta get yourself uncomfortable. That's how you grow. That's how you learn, right? I've learned so many lessons in the past year of owning my business and being fucking unemployed and not having a job and not knowing where my next paycheck is going to come from. I've learned so much. I've gotten uncomfortable and I've pushed my boundaries so far. I'm a completely different person, I think. Right? So the gap between me last year and me now is exponentially greater, right? So this kind of ties into your bad habits, right? This is what was for sure holding me back the most. All right. And I talk about it in an older video. Drinking, drugs, scrolling, poor sleep, right? These things are going to hold you back and they're going to waste years of your life and lots of time and money, right? That's an M. I really have bad handwriting. Wow, that looks terrible. Anyways, alcohol. Okay, I still drink alcohol, right? I still have fun with my friends, but you know what? I fucking earn it. Okay, and I only do it, you know, typically on the weekends, every other week, you know, twice a month, sometimes even less often than that, right? But if you're doing it every single night, if you're doing it every single weekend, if you're just being a complete fucking degenerate and then wondering why you're anxious all the time, why you're not succeeding, why you're not getting the results that you want, that's exactly why. Okay. And the same thing with drugs. I did drugs, I smoked weed, you know, I did other stuff and it made me feel like shit. I'll be honest, I'll still smoke weed every once in a while. There's nothing really wrong with it, but I was doing it constantly every single day, and that is fucking holding you back so much. Like, it's making you retarded, honestly. I'll be the first to say it. And if you have a problem with that, you know, maybe you needed to hear it. Scrolling, right? I still struggle with this. Everybody scrolls nowadays. But it's making you anxious, like we talked about earlier. You know, comparing yourself to other people is giving you so much anxiety, right? And this all kind of ties into poor sleep. Because if you're up late scrolling, if you're up drinking alcohol every single night, you're going to sleep like shit. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to be anxious. You're not going to want to do anything. You're going to be in a bad mood all the time because you're not getting enough sleep. The second that I started prioritizing my sleep and my health, every day has been consistently better. I perform better. I feel better mentally. My thoughts are clearer because I don't do all of these things every single fucking day, except for I get good sleep. That's where I was going with that. None of it is random, okay? If you're struggling with anxiety and you're struggling with mental health and you're struggling with just feeling stuck, it's not random. You know, your body feels the tension. Your habits reflect on your days. The list of the things that you said you were going to do and the broken promises to yourself is what's creating your anxiety, because deep down, you know that you can do more, right? You know that you're capable of doing more. Think about it this way, okay? Would yourself a year ago be proud of where yourself is at right now? And then think about where yourself in a year from now is going to be. Are they going to be glad that they started taking all of these steps to better themselves last year? Or are they going to be upset and have regrets because they didn't start doing all this stuff last year and say, oh, I'm going to do it this year. And then this cycle repeats itself, right? You got to think long term, okay? Short term thinking creates short term results. You got to think long term. What it means, right? I'm not a therapist, okay? I'm not going to go too deep in this, but this is just what I've experienced, all right? If you're anxious, you're overthinking the future. If you're depressed, you're overthinking the past. Being present is going to help a lot, okay? It's really that simple. Instead of thinking about the future, think about what I can do right now to create that future that I'm so worried about, or what I shouldn't do right now to create that future that I'm so worried about. All right. And these are the ways that I've found to fix it, right? This is how I fixed it. Okay. I'm way better than I was 2 years ago, even just 1 year ago. Like I said, every single day is an opportunity to improve. Moving your body daily, going to the gym, going for walks, running, riding your bike, going outside, swimming. There's so many different things you can do, right? Move your body every single day. Take action on what you're avoiding, okay? I'm sure there's things that you've been meaning to do. I'm sure there's things that you've been wanting to do. There's things that you're avoiding, whether it's hard conversations with yourself or with others, whether it's moving somewhere, leaving a job that you're unhappy with, or applying to new jobs that you really want. There's so many different things. Maybe it's just prioritizing your health, right? Start taking action right now. One small thing, one small step at a time, right? Getting off your phone. Get off that damn phone. Our parents were right. It really is that damn phone. Okay. First hour of your day, just don't even go on it. Last hour of your day, don't even go on it. Right? It's going to help you sleep better at night. And it's going to help you, when you go on your phone, you're just fucking spiking your dopamine, you're spiking your cortisol, and it's just going to make you stressed out all day long. Okay. First hour of your day, wake up, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, go stand outside in the sun, drink some water, drink your creatine, electrolytes, some coffee, have a good breakfast. Think about what you're grateful for. Be grateful your first hour of the day. And then go on your phone. Okay? Start before you're ready. Like I said, take action on what you're avoiding and start before you're ready. There's never going to be a perfect storm. There's never going to be a perfect opportunity or a perfect moment. You have to create it. Okay? Start before you're ready. You're going to fuck up. You're going to embarrass yourself. You're going to make mistakes, but that's how you learn and that's how you grow. And being uncomfortable is honestly pretty fun, because at the end of the day, you're going to be glad that you did it. You get a dopamine rush from it. Structure. This one's been huge for me. Creating structure and a routine and having small daily habits that you knock out every single day Anxiety, like I say right here, anxiety thrives in chaos. Okay, so if your day is unstructured, if you're just constantly living in a chaotic environment and having chaotic thoughts, it's because you don't have structure. Okay, look at the highest performing people, the highest performing people at your job, or CEOs or business owners or athletes. They all have structure in their day. That's the way I think about it, right? And presence. Okay, like I said, practice being more present, not being on your phone so much. I'm guilty of this, okay? And this is something that I'm working on. But practice presence, okay? Living in the now, doing some meditation, some journaling, right? These are all things that are going to help you. And they do help a lot over time. You just, that's the biggest thing, is you have to stick with them consistently. And I also have a YouTube video on consistency. So go watch that if you're struggling with it as well. Cut the habits that borrow from tomorrow. Okay, you don't have to cut them completely, but like I was saying, drinking. If you're waking up hungover every single morning, if you're wasting your weekends being hungover and being drunk, and there's things that you want to do and that you wish you were doing instead, well, then cut it out. It's hard, I know, it's hard, but the best way to do that is to surround yourself with like-minded people. Surround yourself. I call it hanging out with doers. All right, you got to be a doer, not a talker, not a don'ter. Okay, once I started being a doer, my life changed. And surrounding yourself with those people is going to help push you, because if you're surrounding yourself with people that are holding you back and doing the same habits that you're trying to break, you're never going to break them. So, key principles here, action is the antidote to anxiety. Clarity comes from taking action, not figuring out how you're going to take action. Okay, consumption without creation breeds anxiety. Okay, discomfort is the price of growth. Structure is the cure. The gym forces presence. All right, small steps every single day is what's going to get you to where you want to go. Right. Once again, guys, I hope this helped. I hope this was helpful to you. That's really my goal at the end of the day, right? It's just to help as many people that I can, because I used to struggle with this stuff, right? I'm not perfect, far from it. So, your anxiety is telling you something, all right? So listen to it. It's telling you that you're capable of more. You're just not acting on it yet, right? The fix, it's not a pill or a podcast or another self-help book or YouTube video. It's just taking action, all right? Structure, showing up when it's hard, showing up when it's uncomfortable. And that's what we help guys build at Adnet Performance, okay? It's not just training, it's structure for your entire life. All right. Ask questions in the comments, DM me on Instagram, linked in the description. And I also have my calendar linked in the description as well. So if you want to schedule a meeting with me or my brother, love to talk, love to answer any questions, love to get you on board with the program. Check out my other YouTube videos. There's lots of other helpful stuff in here. And have a wonderful day. Peace.